Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me on another episode of PriMath Zoom. In this episode, we are going to explore Google Slides and how it can help us with our lesson planning, book reviews, projects, and also how we can use it to award students certificates when they do a good job in class. Please, let's dive right in. So you would need to start from a Google page looking like this, where you can see your emails or perhaps in Google Drive. But you need to be seeing the Google Apps that is to your right. So you click on the Google Apps to access Google Slides. And then Google Slides will open to you. In Google Slides, there are some templates. We have the blank, we have student certificate, we have a science project, flashcards, field trip, book report, and you can click on these two are here where you have template gallery to see what other templates are available. So here we also have a lesson plan. So if you realize here we have education, but below we have a personal templates. And for recipe book and general presentation, and for work case study. So we have different templates, but we're going to focus on the templates in the education section. So of course, you can plan your lessons by using a template here. So there's a lesson plan template, and it starts by showing you the name of the lesson and the date. To your left here, you'll see different slides that can tell you other things that can go into your lesson plan when you're preparing your lesson plan here. So you can have the grade, you can have the curriculum being used, number of students in class. You can also have the objectives here, but it's not prescriptive because you can always add slides if you wish by clicking on this plus sign up here to your left, and you can add slides. So I would have added this slide. Say, for example, I wanted to include focus question here. Then I could have added slide, and then I type in what I want. And I can put my focus question here. On another slide, we have materials. These were already prepared for us. So you have the slides with the different titles. So in materials, you can list your different materials that will be used here. So if you're going to use didax.com for some of your materials, or if you need to type in whatever virtual tool you are going to use, you can put them right here. You can also go to procedure. And after procedure, you will see a slide that will show you how you can organize your lesson. So we're using the 5E component. And so this part here came with 5 different parts, but it's not prescriptive, as you can increase this time for the first part and decrease the second one, or vice versa, or wherever you want to decrease or increase time. So I know that our lessons normally last up to an hour. So 45 minutes to an hour teaching time. If that's what we're using, we can adjust the timing to represent or reflect the sum of an hour or 45 minutes, or however long your class will be. So here we can always say that these different sections are the different E's in the 5E component. So this first 10 minutes can be used for your introductory activity, and you can outline your activity here, or you can just put a sentence to describe what the activity is about. So if your activity will be that students are going to play a Kahoot game, then you can put it right here. The next 10 minutes is your exploration, but most times our exploration takes a little bit longer. So you can adjust this time here so that you can add some more to that. So you can put 10 minutes here for your next section, and for here you can put 20 minutes for exploration. So you can edit as you go. So your exploration activity, if it is that your students gonna do an observation and collect data and represent them in a table, you can put that right here. For the third one here, normally our third E is explain. So you can write what you're gonna have students explain here. Right here will be your elaboration. So you can give a synopsis of what it will be, or just a sentence or a phrase to say what this entails. And the last 15 minutes or so will be used for your evaluation. And you can edit and put whatever information you want here and adjust the time as I would have expressed. Here we have a final slide with homework. So anything you want your students to do at the end of this session, you can put it here for their homework. But let me just go back right up here where we have the different activities. So we have the 5 E's here. You can add a slide and put some more information as to what you want each E to be. So here we have a blank slide here, and we could be talking about the exploration activity here. So let us insert a text box so we can write what that activity will be. So we might want it to be, okay, students will play a Kahoot game. So you can further write to say they'll play a Kahoot to recap their what they did in the previous session, or you might want to say they're gonna play a Kahoot, or they're gonna do a Quizlet on their prerequisites and skills, so you know where they're at to further explore this objective. So you can have a slide saying that. Then you can perhaps you're here, you can put another slide, and then you can flesh out what you're going to do in your exploration activity, and you put the information here, and you can do that for all your different E's so that your lesson plan has more body to it. Let us go back to the other templates. So we also have a book report. So if it is that you sent your students out to read a chapter of one of their textbooks, their literature books, then they can always report on what the book is about using this template. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel where you're going to tell them to do a book report and they have no way to organize it. So right here, this is a good way to organize it. Or if it is that you are doing a report on a chapter or a book or something that you want your students to know about, you can always put your information here. So you see that the first slide talks about the title of the book and who the report is being done by. You also have a part that says about, where you can put the title of the book again. You can put the author, publisher, copyright date, or whatever important information you see fit to add to this slide. You can do a summary of what's in the book. You can talk about the setting. You can talk about the main characters. You can talk about the conflict, the solution. You can talk about what's the book's main message. And if you wish, you can always recommend this book to someone and give a review. So this is a good way to do a book report. So you can always have your students explore these, or you can explore them for different things. Say, for example, you sent your students on a field trip. So here they went on a field trip and they must come back and report on their findings. So you sent them in the backyard to go and look at the different types of rocks, and they cannot talk about the different rocks there after perhaps you would have done a lesson on it, or maybe this is where your lesson will begin. So your students can go in the backyard and it will be a little field trip. Or if it is that you want them to do something in their community, or if it is that you want them to go somewhere, a different site from where they're living, to go and collect this information. Here it says my trip, and you can put the title of your trip or where you went, and you can put your name. So your students don't have to think about what they're going to put on their front page. This is, this has organized it in such a way that they can just fill in the spaces. The favorite part of the trip, so they can talk about what they enjoyed about the trip here. They can talk about the things that they learned. So this can be the findings based on whatever guiding questions you'll prepare for them. Right here, you're going to talk about other facts that they would have learned from researching. So they can always put their information here. They can add pictures, and it will be a nice little field trip review, using this template. So you can encourage your students to use these templates, and you can do it too. If it is that you're telling your students about somewhere you went to collect the different soil and so on, you can take pictures of what the different soil types look like. So let us look at the flashcards. The flashcards here can be used for many different things. We can use them for a picture story, like a storyboard and so on, where we just add a picture and perhaps a sentence on each slide for it to create a story, or you can use only pictures. So you can use all of these things to do that. Here we're talking about the Spanish quiz flashcards. And if you realize on the slides to come, we have pictures, and we can also put instruction here as to what they must do with this picture. So this picture here, el perro, this is the Spanish word for dog. And so you can always instruct them to write the English version, or however your little activity will be. And there are different templates here. So you can always add your different pictures or even videos to the different parts here. So this is a good way for students to have their notes or have synopsis of what they learned in class, or even for you to share just the main points of a particular lesson or activity. You can use flashcards. And also, as I said before, they can use it to create a picture story. We have the science project, we have science fair, and these are templates that you can use to report on an experiment that you did. So in science, maybe they did germination, and you want them to talk about the different steps, and you might want to put different questions there to guide them. And we can do it for different subjects. So we can do it in math. Students will collect the number of cars passing outside of their gate or something, and they might want to put that in a graph, or so you can give them different things to do, and they can report using one of these templates. And there is a final one, student certificate. And I particularly find this very nice because here that we're working in online, our students, we don't get time to treat our students. Sometimes we might give them a pencil or a token, or give them a button or something. And sometimes certificates, here we can still create our certificates to congratulate our students on the good work that they are doing. So all you'll need to do is you'll need to type your student's name in. You'll need to just say congratulations on whatever this certificate is for. So if you want, it's a best speller for the week or something, but whatever you're going to be praising them for, or you want to positively reinforce them for, you can use this certificate. So you have their name, and you can always do a little description here as to why they achieved this certificate. But you will know what to put, because you will know what you want the certificate, to represent. So you can do this. And when you create your certificate, along with the other templates that we would have explored, you can always share them. So up here to your right, there's a yellow part that says share. You click on share, and you're able to add persons to this. So you can add the persons using their email address, and then you send it to them. So let us try by adding persons. So I'm going to add this email address. So it's already saved in my device. I'm just going to click on it. So I would have added this person, and to my right, it asks me if I want to add them as an editor, a viewer, a commentator. So if it is that I'm doing my certificate, it depends on what you're doing with whatever you're sharing. You can use whichever one of these you want. If it is that you want students to work in group and talk about a field trip, you can have them as editor, and you send it to a group of persons so that they can explore in their groups while using the Google Slides. So we can do this. Say, for example, I want to share this certificate, and the person who I'm sharing it with, I just want them to just view it. So they can also download it, because it will be something to show appreciation or to congratulate them. So they can get the option to download. You can check out settings here too for other settings, for other options. If it is that you don't want editors to be able to change permission, viewers and commentators can see the option to download, print, and so on. So you can use these accordingly. After you would have done all of this, you click on send. Well, I'm sharing this with someone out of my organization, and that's the reason it's asking me this. So do I want to share anyway? Yes, I do. But if it is that you are expecting your students to use email address that is in a particular organization, and they should be able to get this, and you don't want them to use any other email address, then you don't have to click on share anyway. You can cancel and not have that person be a part. In the middle of the screen up top here, we had that this file was shared. So you can always look out for that. It means that the person will get an email to access this. So these are some things we can use this to do. But whenever now this child get their or your student get their certificate or any file and they want to download it, they can click on file, which is to your left, and then they can go to download and download it as a PowerPoint or whatever document they wish. All right. So thank you so much for exploring with me today. I hope you learned a lot that you can take back to your virtual classroom. See you next time.